Alright everybody, welcome back to another episode on the Zedcraft Season 5 server. Maybe my last episode on the Zedcraft Season 5 server. That's right, we're closing down the server. Season 6 will be starting soon. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to leave Episode 5 with a little bit of a memory tour. 18 months of building and having fun. I wanted to just kind of walk my steps. Remember old times. So I'm not going to go step by step. This would be a 7-hour video. But what we're going to do is we're going to hit some of the high points. First of all, this spot here is where we all spawned in at the very beginning of the server. None of this build was here, obviously. And the very first thing I did as a brand new Ermel on the Season 5 server, I walked from the center of town, which is now the center of town, all the way past me, look behind me, there's a cliff behind me, right off the cliff. I think I may have been the first death on the server. I thought I could make it to the river on my jump. I couldn't, and I died, and I lost my, Zedcraft welcome guide, despawned before I can get it back. It was very sad. But then everyone, started a starter base. My starter base was the Society of the Protection of Ermel Welfare. This is kind of it's a style of a house I built in some other places, so I was very familiar with it. I felt like I could build it pretty quickly. It could be my starter home. Right now it's nothing, because anything that was in here that was valuable, I've moved to my base area. But for a while, this was full of chests, and it was full of things. Looks like I did leave a few things here. There is one secret in this base. Down here with some more chests, just because you always run out of them. Oh, there's still a lava farm hidden behind there. But there's one secret. I don't know if anybody's noticed. Nobody really plays anybody else's stuff. If you go here, are you ready? What? Yeah, you can do this. And who doesn't want to do this? Ow. But then, we didn't stop there. No, then of course you got to find your perfect spot for a base. And in the opening of this video, you saw me fly from the zoo to here. Well, my base was just a little bit north of the zoo. So we'll get back there in just a second. Of course, take the nether tunnel back quite a bit. So since we've already seen the fly route, let's go ahead and take the nether tunnel route. And we can see, we can imagine what it used to look like back when there was no nether hub. The nether tunnel was built up here. Everybody ready? Everybody ready? Isn't that awesome? So you can see one of the things that's cool about the nether tunnels, okay, I'm on the yellow path, is they put an E for Ermel right above my hallway. Wasn't that sweet? That was so sweet of them. This is very nice. It's possible that the E doesn't actually stand for Ermel, that it might stand for Evester, because she's just a few houses down. Alright, so here is then the nether portal to what eventually became my main base. Ermel National Park is the other cool name for it. And just recently, the zoo. The hallway's ugly, because I did that at the last second, just so people can find it. Let's go to Ermel's National Park and reminisce about what this place used to look like and why. Ow. My vision at the beginning of the season was not this giant gorilla. Okay, that was not the vision. The idea was I want a jungle area, and in that jungle area there's going to be a big mountain, and coming out of the mountain would be this gorilla temple, but you'd only see the front half of it, and it would be a mean-looking gorilla, and it's kind of like maybe you'd go into its mouth or something, and you'd have to climb up, and that would be Ermel's National Park. I did have a national park as the early design, but then that ancient temple would be it. Well, I started doing the Googles, and I started trying to research gorillas, and I found some images. Maybe I'll flash those on the screen here shortly. Some voxel images that some people posted. I was really close to what I was wanting, and so I went ahead and I picked a scale. Didn't do it block for block, and obviously even from the voxel images you can't see much only that one side. So I still had to invent a lot of what it was that you weren't seeing. But I think it turned out pretty good. We're going to go through briefly now, kind of a montage, not a montage, a series of this is what it looked like along the way. You can see some dirt was the main theme as it was starting to grow. I didn't do anything creative. I kept moving things around. The hands were too close, move them further apart. Everything was too far back, move it up. Too far up, move it back. Constantly readjusting until I got the shape right in dirt. And then once the dirt was the shapey was all right, then I would start replacing the dirt with other textures. Now the idea, this is like pure basalt, is that we would start to break it up and even texture it further. I had 4 main color zones, light gray top, black belly, pink back gorilla. But as I started to play with textures, it just started, I thought it started to lose something. There's the shape of it, and having the big broad swaths of color were good, but having the rest of the color just seemed to really start to lose something. So I took it all out and I left it a little bit plain Jane, if you will. All right, so that was that. This place wasn't even a pit, right? This land connected. There was a little cave just a little one. As a matter of fact, let's go to where the cave was. We're going to find where the cave was. Over here was not my entrance. When I got everything finished, I hid my entrance because I didn't want it to be a part of the tour. This is actually still my main base area where most of my junk is. Sheeps. This wall, I can poke through it here. I think it's only, 3 deep? Then I'm on my path. Maybe it's 4 deep. I don't know. Okay, I don't know what it is. You know what? But it's that way. But it used to not be that way, right? It used to be that I would come in and out through this big hole, and when I dug the pit, I would just fly in and fly out. But as I built things up out there, I covered all that up. This sheep farm used to be right over here, but the pit, when I dug a pit, it was clear that I had to move the sheep, so I moved them over there. Oh, just memories. Memories of things that I did. All right, well, storage rooms are boring, so we're going to go ahead and leave this. We're going to go back up top. Now, the gorilla statue, of course, is the center of attention, but it's, it's just one piece of the many pieces that are here for the national park. The other sort of main feature that you might see when you come here is this fun-looking temple. And this temple, the whole purpose of it is as a part of a joke. We'll get to that in a second. But this peninsula, this little thing that sticks out here, was completely flat. It went, that whole thing I had to build. And then hello, how are you doing? I had to build that, and then I had to put the thing up on top of it because I wanted it up. I wanted it up and away. And then I made a path to it, made it all pretty. Oh, look, it is raining. Yeah, it's so awesome. So let's go take a look at the temple real quick. We'll do the joke a little bit later in this video. Oh, this is what it looks like when it's all rainy. So the temple is the scribers, right? These guys are like, oh man, they love the statue so much, they love the history, that they come in and they just want to write about it, and write. So there's jokes in these, or poems that, I've written some. I don't know if anybody else has written some. I've allowed them to do it. I'm not going to go through what's all written in there. It's just silliness. Okay, I'm going to take a sleep, and I'll be right back. But yeah, these guys are the scribers. Now, some of the scribers, there used to be a lot more of them, and they were getting kind of snooty. And some of the scribers felt, oh, these other scribers, man, we're losing focus. We're losing our humility. We can't live with the scribers, those that scribe all these stories. We must live under the scribers, right? And we got to lower our status, be more humble. So down here, there was a cave. And so these breakaway scribers who were like, oh, we need to make sure we stay focused on the gorilla and stop, being so egotistical, moved into this cave where they're actually being exploited. But let's skip over that. That's not the important part of the story. Let's move into this cave. And now these guys are now known as, because they live under the scribers, these are now the subscribers. Y'all saw that coming, didn't you? It was brilliant. It was brilliant. So that was the whole point of putting these down here so I could have subscribers. Yeah, I have, how many subscribers do I have? I have 7 subscribers. That's pretty cool. And I just had some, I have some quotes in here because I was trying to get gold hearts. Anyways, there's nothing else in there to worry your little heads about. Thank you, subscribers. Thank you for being my subscribers, all 7 of you. The 2 subscribers upstairs, yeah, they're jerks. You guys are the best. Subscribers are awesome. All right, so that whole temple was just for that joke. It was a long joke, a long way to get there. Okay. Oh yeah. By the way, we'll get to pranks later. I had been pranked at one point because I had pranked Crone, and so I had some stuff happen to that. We'll get to that in a moment. All right. So now we're going to go on a journey. We're going to go through very slowly, very carefully, very meticulously. We're going to go through the park. And we're going to learn what it is. We're going to start with the main trail, which takes us down into the pit. And you'll get the visitor center is that way. Cavern trail is this way. Let's go into the cavern. You get the maker's comments as we go through. The great adventurer Ermel is rumored to have said, "Oh," when first gazing on the statue. Restoration efforts removed over 30 vines, some of them poisonous. While the early Zedaphites left no written record or way for us to learn about them, researchers say that this was a statue of their patron god, Uga, the god of flowers. Worshippers would wear pink during bi-weekly ceremonies. Aw, that's so sweet. And then, yeah, you loop around inside here. Again, this whole cavern is new. These trees were built by others. There's their sign that has who built it, and this one, these are custom-made trees. I don't know the names off the top of my head, but if you go, there's a sign that says who built those. Okay, so you come around here, you turn. Oh, page 1. Ermel sniped 2 creepers from this location during the restoration of the statue. Kind of a big deal, said Ermel. And the waterfall to your right is kind of neat too. Many fish have died trying to swim out of the caverns. That is a true statement. But now the fish are spawning down there. They don't spawn this high. So usually you don't see them until you get down there. But you can see them try to go up that and fall back down. This wonderful little trail loops back around. Somewhere in here was the big hole that takes you into my area I used to fly in and out. Of course, it's not there anymore. Oh, so what do you see here? Let's guess what this post is going to be about. Well, we're getting closer to the gorilla. We can start seeing some amethyst in the base. The base is broken right there. So what could it possibly be about? All right, let's learn something. You are now 23 meters below the top of the big hole. The big hole was named after its size and that it is a hole. Pre-Zedaphites would dare each other to jump from the lip of the basin. Winners would get to live another day. The statue is thought to be of the rare pink-backed gorilla, though some argue it is supposed to be a poorly built flamingo. So as you can see, one of my goals with this national park is that when you look at it, you're like, oh, this looks pretty cool. Yeah, I'd make a national park here. It's like, oh, that's pretty, and ooh, that's nice. A lot of things here to talk about. But then when you read about it, it's just all silliness. So seriousness in block placement, silliness in stories. All right, we get down here. Okay, we're almost to the base. What could this be about? Let's see. Let's look around. Could it be about this jungle tree? Could it be about cliff artwork? Could it be about this bridge? Is it natural? Is it man-made? Let's find out. Jungle trees are pretty tall, and you can see the top of a few from here. Researchers claim that pre-Zeds worshipped trees and named this particular tree Barky. Researchers also point out how odd it is for such an advanced culture to not have ever created any other art, such as cliff drawings. Typically, you'd expect to see a lot of paintings of fruit bowls, but nothing of like that. Ooh, I don't know how to write. Adorns these cliffs. See, silliness. All right, so we're getting down to the podium. Let's see. This is probably about the podium. What do you think? Probably. The main attraction of Emerald National Park is, of course, the tile work on the statue's pedestal. Are they weapons? Weeds? Probably. The trail continues on the far side of the platform, where you can take the stairs further down into the big hole. So yeah, this is kind of a fun design I made on the, we'll call it the podium top. I was thinking like wheat, you know, this is the base of the plant, and here's some sort of stalk and some, but whatever. It could be a bird, it can be a weapon, or whatever you want it to be. It doesn't really have all that details in it. The gorilla is, of course, hollow. Hopefully, normal visitors don't, you know, try to get in there. But if they were to try to get in there, they would see. It is smooth basalt. I said it right the last time. Smooth basalt. You can walk here. You can walk down there and get lost. What is interesting down here? It's scary. You have a big gorilla on top of your head. It should be spawn-proofed. You can see some of these blocks where I was trying to do different textures. I left some occasionals, but that's it. Literally, that's it. All right, so on the other side of the podium, stairways down. Oh, I see the stairway. What could this be about? Let's see, what do we have here? We have a pretty view of particles of clay. It looks like maybe there's a cave that goes off in that direction. Waterfalls. Vines. Okay, let's see what this is about. Only the bravest adventurers dare continue down this trail. The park and Ermel are not responsible for death, loss of life, or both. Is it just me, or do those spore blossom particles make your nose itch? I mean, I can't be sure, but I feel like I'm allergic to them. Now, what I had to do for that is there's actually a spore blossom under one of these tiles, hidden. And then, of course, there's all the spore blossoms out there, but they wouldn't always have particles up here. So there's like a blossom like right under one of those. Hee hee, I'm sneaky. All right, let's see. What could this be about? I see vines. Well, yeah, still more. Oh, something just poofed. Okay, let's read. Even though the pre-Zeds left no writing, researchers say that you can arrange the letters of the word vine in any way and still get a word in the pre-Zed language. For example, I don't know how to pronounce these, so I'll just spell them. IVNE is a word for your mother's mother. NEVI is a word for the depth of the ocean. EVIN is a word for the bowl that is used when giving someone a bowl haircut. Also, zippy is a word that has a meaning. I may not have written that page. I wonder if somebody helped me out there. That's funny. I like that. Maybe I wrote that. If I did, I totally enjoyed reading it. All right, you finally get to the base of the pedestal, and there's less and less about the gorilla, right? Because we're getting out of the gorilla's range. Now we're into the pre-ZF era, right? This is, you know, maybe there's runes over there. Can't see them yet. About what the pre-Zeds were like as we learn about them on our hike. And the trail like kind of pushes you to the left. Like you want to go to the left. Can you go to the right? Of course you can. But like the flow of the park is that it pushes you the way you should be going without physically pushing you, which would probably be illegal. All right, so what I see here is I see axolotls, I see lakes, I see dead fish. All right, let's see what this tells me about. It is believed that the pre-Zeds spent most of their time down amongst these pools where they had plenty of fresh water to drink and tropical fish to eat. Some say the pre-Zeds are still among us, their spirits living in the axolotls. Unrelated, have you checked out the shop at the visitor center? We sell a variety of axolotl heads, which make great souvenirs for your visit. These are not named. These will spawn in here. So the fact that there's so many is kind of cool because it's possible that you can come here and not see any. These are naturally spawning axolotls, and they will despawn as soon as we get away from them. This vine here, ooh, is magic. Kind of cool. And we're going to have to sleep here really second. Give me a moment. And we're back. So let's go ahead and read this. This vine was made by the pre-Zeds to help them ascend the pit. It is made from magic. It is growing up from the ground. Please don't update box around it. I don't know why it did that. But as I cleared those trees from up there, some vines, you can see there's actually more than just this one. The vine stayed even. I don't know why. I not know why. Now, this pool here was made by me. This was all bone milled moss blocks. This is bone milled moss blocks. These clay blocks were placed down by me. Now this was here. This was all stone. This was dug out. This was made by me. There was this starting here, this little bit of a deeper trench. This is natural. So that clay block, that may be a natural generation. But then it ended here. So that pool's made by me. That wall's made by me. It goes back in that far. That's all of the stuff that's hanging was planted by me. I bring that up just because, yes, this did have a lush cave, but it was super tiny and minuscule. And most everything you see is because I made it. So I planted these trees. I do the trick where I go up about 10 blocks, put the dirt, plant the trees on that, grow them, and then just fill in as if it had been there the whole time. So that way they're extra tall. And those ones might not actually be extra tall. They may have been kind of short, but they grew to make them look like tall. Anyways, okay, moving on. Lighting. Got to have lights because you don't want googly goblins. Oh, this nice swimming pool of sorts. Okay, what could this be about? Even though the pre-Zeds left no written records, researchers believe that they called this pool the small pool of the falling bacon and a pretty good place to bathe as well. This place to rest was donated by Tonestis Resting Home for Kittens and Squirrels. Oh, thanks, Tonestis Resting Home for Kittens and Squirrels. Now I can rest. Oh, I could have done this without Tonestis. Oh, yeah, that can happen down here. Alright, so now we get to this thing. What could this thing be about? Let me back up. Oh, what is this cool looking vine that's wrapped around down here? That's pretty awesome. You don't really see it. You don't really notice it. Maybe this will bring attention to it. I'm watching you. I'm watching you. Okay, here's one. There are 2 muffins in the oven. The first muffin says, "Man, it's hot in here." The second muffin says, "Holy cow, a talking muffin." Also, there's a pretty large vine growing here. Might be cool to research, but it is prioritized behind researching pre-Zed Olympic heroes and pre-Zed shoe manufacture. Well, that's true. Those things are important to research. Again, you can walk anywhere you want. Like, national park, they tell you to stay on the trail, but kind of pushes you in the circular way down this way by the danger. But as we go there, we can see maybe some early cliff dwellings. If you've been to Mesa Verde or some of those other cliff dwelling national parks, that's what you'll see. Things like this. I tried to, rubble on the ground, broken things that may have been down here. That's kind of cool. How they got up into those, who knows? Maybe they used vines. Clearly, this will talk about the cliff dwellings. Give me a moment. I need to fix the slime noise. And now we now return to our regularly scheduled program. All right, so let's read this and see what it says. I think this post should be about the houses in the cliffs, but some jerk planted a tree so you can't really see them. I bet it was that egotistical Ermal who thinks he's such a big deal. Boo. Beyond the cliff dwelling is a small cave that provided access to the ocean where the pre-Zeds could hunt squids for their meaty tentacles. You can't really eat squids here in Minecraft, but, we'll pretend. You can't really tell. There's just a lot of other little weird details. There's this tough line that I put in just to add something to me. Yes, it's not flat, but it can also be because it's all the same material. Try to break it up. These are naturally spawn-in parts. As you dig down, those come up. I cleaned up some of that, but I'm like, you know what? Some of that doesn't look too bad. Maybe I'll leave in a couple patches of that. And maybe I could have done more to rough it up. Even when I put down these half slabs, maybe I could have been more, detailing it. Yeah, so this opens to the ocean. Wow. Let's see, I'll show you. Well, trust me. It goes all the way to the surface. I built this. This cave was not here. This cave was here. This was a water cave that already existed. And I thought, if I could poke into it, how far down would I be? Right, I played around with it to figure out exactly where it would hit. And thought it'd be fun if they came in here to get access to the ocean or something. Just fun. It was just fun. I'm having fun. And then a pillar that holds that up. Again, is that pre-Zed construction? Is that, later on this is becoming a national park construction? I don't know. I never talk about it. An orchard over here of the azaleas. All right, okay, what could this possibly be talking about? Let's look around. Waterfall, the azalea trees. Hans Joyvis just joined the game. What do you think it's talking about? Probably the last one. As you look up, you'll see where you once stood before deciding it would be a good idea to go downhill, all the way down. Now you have to go back up all of that. Jeez! If you choose to explore the caves up ahead, you can get lost. So please don't do that, as then you'll be tempted to dig up, and then you could end up under the pandas, and who knows what the pandas have been burning over there. Yeah, who knows? And this, again, I planted this. This is bone mealed moss block. This is all okay. This was all stone. I dug it out. Excuse me. I dug it out. Now, if you come over here, this little strip right here was natural. This is as big as the lush cave was. It went to about right here. I wanted it to be open more. So I dug some of the ceiling. I planted those. I put the moss block there to make it look like it was. We just saw a flying axolotl. That's so cool. And I thought that was a slime block attacking me. And because it's natural, then it connects to other natural things. The caves go way that way. You can see how thin this is. This is what it looked. The whole cave looked like this when I found it. Kind of. Wait, I'm standing again. Right, but I broke it open, ripped that right off. I had some access, other ways to get down here where I learned about it. I cleaned all that up, filled it all up so it doesn't look like there was another way. But you know how us Minecrafters are. We always break through things. That up there is me. This whole thing, this water is me. This clay is me. I had to put all that in. Another kind of a little feature that's running along here. All right, so let's keep going. This lava pool was also me. I thought it would be cool to have a lava pool down here. It was not natural. I made it. I had to bring all that lava in. Well, had to, of course, is a strong word. No one has to build lava pools. Yes, some of these features, big blotchy features, right? Instead of a one block here detail and a one block there detail, like just these swaths of something sort of detail is what I was going for. I think it turned out the way I wanted it. Maybe there could be some more detail that wouldn't hurt my feelings. I just didn't want to do that. Okay, what is this talking about? We have lava. We have the bridge over there. We have waterfalls. See, now the fish are trying to swim up and coming down and poofing. Let's play a game. Let's see who can gather the most tropical fish just by exploring a little around the bottom of this big hole. Fishermen villagers will buy them, but I don't know why. That is true. Or how about this game? With the head hunting rockets, try to get 16 slime heads at one time. It's tough, but enough slime spawn down here to give plenty of options. We saw that, so that is true. And try not to play in the lava. I know it can be tempting, but those that have tried it before have all agreed it wasn't as much fun as it looks. I will not be playing in lava at this time. Yeah. So you can collect tropical fish. Even without swinging your sword, I bet you there might be a pile of them down there already. Well, or even on the path here. Okay, I collected one. What a fun game. Alright, so it splits. We can go one out of way, which looks like it loops around and takes us back home, and that is true. Or you can go this way. Let's see what happens. This is the start of the Geo Trail. Go over the bridge around the azalea roots, and after a bit, you'll enter a large room with a large open geode. Maybe even an axolotl or two. Of course, the caves continue well beyond the geode, but nothing is maintained or safe once you see torches. Even less safe once you reach areas without torches. Again, try to stick to the path. I couldn't improve everything. I didn't want to close off all caves. I wanted it to seem like, oh no, there are other caves here. We're just not going down them. If you've ever been like Carlsbad, right, they tell you that. Oh, you're only seeing like 5% of the whole cave system. Or whatever. Alright, so you come down here. The Geo Trail goes that way. This azalea route is natural. I did not place these blocks here. I did place the roots on the bottom of them. Or some of them. I think some of them actually because this was open already. This part of the cave, I made it more bigger. I enlarged it. That's the word I was looking for. But I didn't necessarily create the cave. And then I dug everything but the root blocks. So if this was a stone block, I broke it. If it was a dirt block, I broke it. So this is what it actually looked like, and this is where it actually ended. So I don't know, it's kind of cool. That may be a little bit of it. Maybe I did make it a little bit longer. Maybe it stopped up there. I don't know. I don't know. But I tried to leave it. Okay. And so as we turn this corner here, I did, wall block some of this. I did try to pull the lush cave down into this cave a little bit more. I made this. But then it's like, oh, no, I'll get rid of it. It should eventually end anyways. Those little caves, I opened up into 2 caves, and I'm like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if there was a thing in the middle? And so on and so forth. But if it's starting to look a little bit like, hey, that's a naturally generated cave. And look at this spawner. Yep. You can go in there and fight whatever it is. I forget. But if we continue on through, it opens up to this big room where you can see the big geode. Everybody's seen big geodes. Everybody's seen room. Now, the reason why you're not getting like fish spawns and axolotl spawns in there, because I made all that. So that's not really a lush cave biome. One of the things that I did do with here was it blocked the view. Like the cave came down like this. And so there wasn't really a place where you could stand and really get a good look at the openness. So I dug a lot of the ceiling out, and then I put the lush cave ceiling in. And again, I put all the moss stuff in case someone does come over here. You probably won't ever see. Oh, you can see that oops. I don't have all of the spots. Full blocks. Okay. That's this path. Now let's continue the trail. This way. So the original cave went under here. All of that up there is me. I dug out all of that to make it look like it was natural. But the actual natural cave, like I said, came down this area, came through here. It actually stopped around here. I added it more to keep carrying that look through there. So like right there where they're spawned, and that's probably lush cave biome, but that area there is probably not that type of thing. All right, so let's get to the next podium. Oh well, we've been seeing this like crack here with the amethyst. So let's see what this is all about. Are we ready? This magnificent natural phenomenon before you has stunned researchers since its discovery. Debate rages about what type of lawnmower would be best to cut this 2-meter tall grass. I mean, you could use a gas mower with a 10-inch blade, but you don't want to spray particles onto the odd, unstudied, perhaps very common purple rock behind it. See how silly I am? I made this podium about this piece of grass. Okay, so you come up here. Ooh, pretty lush cave. Remember, we were up there and we came down this walkie walk. Lush caves are just so cool. To your left, there is an unimproved trail through a cavern that leads to a lesser geode and then onto the bottomless pit. The pit is unexplored and unlit. Reminds me of the time that I ate too much cheesecake. I mean, it was really yummy, but I had really bad dreams about spiders. Yeah, exactly like you're thinking. So I don't have a path block, but you can go up there and see those things. They are really uninspiring. They're natural. Obviously, it's not a bottomless pit. It's got a bottom. But I thought, again, fun. Like this is a national park. There's these little excursions that you can take that take you off the main path. But it is so boring. We're not going to do it on camera. So we're going to continue on. Ooh, see, another excursion and down into some sort of snowy area. While the gorilla might be the most famous pre-Zediphyte creation, at the end of this cave is the most famous natural creation in the park. The shape of the cave naturally cools the air as it enters. During one excavation trip, researchers discovered a 10,000-year-old jar of mayonnaise in the cave, proving for all time that not only did pre-Zediphytes use this cave for refrigeration, but they also had great taste in condiments. I know, there's mayonnaise haters out there. Well, suck it up, mayonnaise haters. Let's go take a look. So it naturally cools. You can start seeing a little frosty. Ooh, I feel colder, right? I haven't even seen anything yet, but don't I just like feel just a little colder? The blue in the, I know it's lapis, but like the blue like even helps sells it. Like, oh, cold, chilly. And then this is where it ends. So maybe it's a little overhyped. You know, when Zed ran through here, he's like, wouldn't it have been cool if there was like a jar of mayonnaise or something? That would have been cool. I didn't think about that. You know, do the mob heads or something, get a jar of mayonnaise hiding in over there. Oh, this is all dug out. This was not here. As a matter of fact, it was a natural cave that came at cut like like through here maybe. Like if I break through that wall or and that wall there maybe. So this is all. I wanted another feature, another excursion. So that's why I did that. And I thought an ice cave in the middle of a lush biome was, it could happen. It's not far-fetched. Okay. We're almost done. Let's see what this says. And that is the end of the trail. To get back to the top, you can climb the stairs that brought you down here, or there is a water vader behind you down by the river. Thank you for visiting the park. Your visiting fees are used to keep the park clean and safe for visitors. It also helps feed the pandas who are super picky. They are divas, really annoying. Hey, do you want to buy a panda or just a panda head? So since we came down here, let's go ahead and go up the water vader, which is the big one. Oh, no, that's not true. I actually do have the little one, too. Let's do the littler one. Let's see. Coming through. Ouch. I can play. Is there anything for me to pick up while I'm down here, by the way? It is a game. 2. I got 2 fishies. Is that it? More axolotls. Alright, let's go up the water vader. That was the cavern trail, if we go that way. The rim trail is this trail that we're on here. And it goes by the portal, which most people I would think would come through. And they come through the portal and they can read, hey, do you want to go on the rim trail? Or do you want to go to the visitor center and the canyon trail? This was made by, let's find out, who made this tree? Let's see. There it is. This area was built by Busy Bee as a commission. From her services, Busy's Terraforming. C tree and SD. Oh, hey, stuck. It is very pretty. And it wasn't just a tree. She did all of this. They did all of this. It was pretty cool. With roots kind of hanging over a little bit. That's one of the things I said when I told them, make the tree so big that they are falling into the thing. So this is the rim trail. Thank you, Busy. It was awesome. All right, let's read this. Oh, probably about the gorilla. Are we ready? Rim trail, post 1. Yes, it's a big gorilla statue in a deep pit. Not much else to say, really. So, seen any good movies lately? If you stay on the rim trail, you'll see a little offshoot trail that leads to an area where there were 5 copper veins in one area, like crazy copper. It is the Galaxy of Copper trail. It's worth a visit. Okay. I didn't leave a lot of room. When I was building the dip hole, I'm like, well, it needs to be this because the gorilla is going to be this big, and I didn't leave a lot of room. But this here is natural. I didn't have to add into it. I was willing to. It's like if I have to add 10 blocks of, path, it's like, no, I think this is fine. But it is pretty thin right there. Kids might fall off. Maybe that's not a bad thing. A magic vine, starting in the middle of the air, just don't care. Arrogant vines. Things are crazy in the park. Yep. And so there's the other one. There it is. Continuing on the rim trail, we can take an excursion to the Copper Galaxy Trail. Okay, let's do it. This guy was out here, and I kept him. A lot of people keep their... I'll just read it. I think this is what I wrote in here anyways. Sure, anyone else can have a skeleton horse, but do they have a horse with a skeleton rider still intact? The pawn shop says this one is worth 5 times a riderless skeleton horse. Kind of big deal. Yeah, it is. I'm awesome. All right, so we continue down this. Remember, copper veins are underground, so you can see what this is going to be. Copper veins are cool, but they're underground. So go into this cave. Just keep going. It isn't a trap. No, I promise. Not all creepy in any way. It wasn't creepy until I said that it's not creepy, right? That's awesome. Now it's kind of creepy. So let's go down to where these copper veins are. Stop. Go back. I really kind of hyped up the creepiness. This is all. I had to dig all this out. It's a trap, says Akbar. Gotta have something to look at. Again, maybe I could have done different things along the way. Ooh, I just thought it would be kind of fun, because there was so many copper veins here, to leave the copper floating with, I can play, with the granite And you always have to look for like and where was one? One was here. I think there's one. If you hop up there, and I dug out just so that you can make sure you can see this one. Just because those are the fun things to look for. Oh, and one up there. So I said 5, so let's find them. So 1 goes through here, and if you go to the other side of the geode, it continues out of the back of the geode, down at the bottom. So 1. Okay. 2 is the kind of obvious one. 3, we'll call this another obvious one. And does this connect? Is this the same like vein? I don't know. It's possible. I think the original cave that I found, I came down, it came through there. So that the actual cave with I moved everything around and filled it all in because I wanted to come down here. So it's possible, but even if that's just 3, okay, so 1, 2, 3, if this is all 1. Where's 4 and 5? Aha! 4. I didn't dig it all the way out, but you can, if you really care. I think it's, yep, see? It's always fun to find those. It looks like it's then going to turn and go that way. So I'm going to call it separate. I guess theoretically, I don't know, it could then turn into that guy. I don't know. But I'm going to say it's separate. So I'm going to say that's 4. And then 5 starts up there. And again, I have rockets. Let's go see how much I dug out. Oh, okay, I didn't dig much out at all. That's right, I covered it all in. Oh, but it goes that away. I had more dug out. The question was, when I started to fill in the galaxy, how big do I want this? Because these copper veins just kept going and going and going. And I needed an end, or I would never finish the project. And then every once in a while, you just find, copper naturally. Anyways, that's not a part of a vein. I left everything that was copper, because I thought it'd be fun. All right. This was neat. It's neat just to see it that way. Did we read this? Oh, yeah, we read that. Okay, let's get out of here. To the trailhead of the Copper Galaxy. So let's finish the rim trail. Let's go finish the rim trail. It's just more views of the gorilla. The gorilla is actually symmetric down the middle front line there. So if you saw the other side, now you'd see this side. It's awesome. Awesome. All right. Okay, so like this area is lit up really well. The back of the gorilla is covered in either carpet or string and mobs still spawn on it. What? So please be careful exploring at night. Yeah, they changed it. Didn't string used to prevent mob spawns? Well, it doesn't anymore. String prevents snow accumulation, which is not a problem in my biome. But yep, it doesn't. If it ever did, and maybe it never did, but if it ever did, it doesn't now. Here's a bed to rest at if you find yourself out at night. Be warned, Tornestus might have used the bed once. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I thought that would just be hilarious. It always seems to be night when I come through here. As a matter of fact, I just slept before I started this clip because it was night. Why is it always night when I come through that area? So weird. The rim trail is well lit up. See, it was night, as I said. So, I have hidden lights here to kind of, if there are spawns, they're going to be far enough away. They shouldn't bother us. But I can still bother them. All right, we move around to the back side of the statue. And the most obvious joke to make at this point is... Yeah, that's the most obvious joke. And I have to make it. I don't have standards. Look at these magic vines. Yep, I think this is what it's talking about. And also, this is going to talk about that bridge. I don't have zoom key, but it's right there. More magic vines. What even causes this to happen? Magic. It has to be magic. And just off to your left is the taxi bridge. I already ruined that post for you. Sorry about that. If you need to go see a therapist because I ruined it for you, I understand. All right, so now we're back to this pond, which we shot up in. Occasionally, one of the tropical fish that spawns down below will get water vadored up to this small pond. It is true. I have seen it once. Once, my friends. All right, this is the top of the azalea tree that we saw the things we walked around, right? Because remember, we zoomed up here, but if we went over that way a little bit, that was the bridge. This is the same tree. I thought, wouldn't it be funny if up on this side, I dug out a little bit of the dirt as well, even just the root blocks. Yes, it was fun. And then we're back to the top and back to the front. So that is almost everything in National Park, in Irmo National Park. There's the visitor center, which is should be pretty quick, but I don't want to forget it. This design I got off of the Googles. I changed it so it's not purely what the Googles had, but if you want to see my inspiration, I put the name of the thing, Remio. Okay, I say designed by, I should say inspired by. Well, it's like 90% their design, 10% things I had to change to make it work for me. All right, well, inside we have a museum area, because visitor centers and national parks tend to have like, oh, come here and touch things. Trinkets belonging to Irma the Great. Ooh, look at that. Ooh, I bet you that's a piece of paper. Oh, Mom, can I break it? Hands-on geode exhibit. Do not touch. I'm hilarious. Some honey and a map of the area. You always have to have a map. The fact that it's a gorilla gets obscured by, like, is it butterfly wings? Right? It really makes it look interesting. And in case you didn't tell from the bottom, the roof is actually lime wool of the thing up there. May not have been known. And that guy over there is my storage. It's kind of cool that you can see the rim trail path. All right, so that's the museum. Yay, museum. And over here, books, right? Because you got to be able to buy stuff. Books on the pre-Zed civilization. We can't do anything with the bookshelves in this version because we're not on 120. But then like a little gift shop or a Giphy shop. And I didn't want people to actually buy things here. This is more for looks, so I set the price at 400 Zedificates, which, isn't really a thing. I did say I had axolotl heads, so I do. And just some other things that you like make it feel like it's a visitor center. You should be able to buy some things. I don't know why the pandas. It is a jungle biome, so there were always pandas everywhere, and I thought I'd just go ahead and haul a few in. And this actually doubles as my bee farm, which I recently have already harvested and took it all downstairs to my base. And we already flew down there once. That's my city base. Oh, we forgot. How can I forget? Books. Okay. The activity guide. There are many things to do in Irmo National Park, from gentle nature hikes to learning about the pre-Zedite history to swimming. I can click. Hikes. The Cavern Trail hike is the park's most famous trail, as it takes you right up next to the Great Gorilla statue. If you take your time, read all the posts, and enjoy the natural area, it could take 30 minutes. The Rim Trail takes you around the top edge of the monument and connects to the Copper Trail, takes you through the jungle and to the smaller nearby cave where you can see 5 excavated copper veins. Or you can do some socializing. Walk up the Temple of the Scribers and learn about Scriber culture. Learn about the Scriber cult. Water. There are many water caves just off the coast that will certainly allow you to get wet. Yes, that was something. I'll show you that in a second. It didn't turn out to be as much of a thing as I thought it would be. A history of Irmo National Park. Many long years ago, like maybe 1 year ago, the brave adventurer Irmo discovered the Great Gorilla statue. News of this fantastic discovery spread quickly, and soon the area was declared a national park. Over the many months since this great discovery, Irmo began restoring the statue and surrounding area and began leading research into just who were these pre-Zeds, and why am I hungry all the time? Soon, a group of people claiming that they worshiped the gorilla asked for a place to build a temple. These people were so enthralled by the statue that they were compelled to write about it, thus became known as the Scribers. The number of Scribers grew, and eventually some of the Scribers began to think the group was losing its way, focusing too much on its image and not enough on the great gorilla. This group left the temple and moved into the cave under the temple. The park complements all of this rich history. Explore and learn about what makes Irmo National Park so special. And then became the Subscribers. I didn't put that in there, but that's part of the joke. Okay, well, I talked in there about I was going to build, have a water breathing area, and then, because some of these caves are just so ginormous, and then, maybe I'd put things in them and put paths where, you would still be able to breathe, but you'd be able to have an underwater portion. That never came to fruition. I just got kind of done building on the Irmo National Park. I was going to have stalls here too. Really, coming, cool stables. This is the taxi, because you you, sir, will help us get back to the starter base area, because this path goes all the way back to the starter base area. And this is my storage area. It's boring, but I needed some more storage at the top here. So here's what I'm going to do. This is the end of the portion where we talk about Irmo National Park. Zedcraft also went through Irmo National Park. It was fun to watch his reactions to all those things that we just repeated here. I'll put a link to that down below so you can see what Zedcraft did. Okay, well, since the overview of Irmo National Park took quite a bit longer than I was expecting it to take, although it was totally fun and I'm totally going to keep it, it's just going to be a longer video. I don't want to put everything in one video, so I'm actually going to divide this into 2 videos. I'm going to go ahead and stop this one here at the end of Irmo National Park. And that's the main base, so that's a good stopping spot. In the next video, you are going to see Willy World games called Relic Run, which is based off Tango's Decked Out. You're going to see a Willy World game, Legends of Zelda, which is another huge game. The castle around the game is not finished, but the game works, though the game is functionally complete, even if it's got some looky-look stuff that needs to be fixed. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the different districts that I help participate in, the Spring District and the Summer District. And then if there's time in the next video, we'll get into a little bit about the Amazing Race event that I held. I don't really have a lot of stuff to show, but I'll try to find some stuff. And some of the pranks, some of the other activities that maybe I took part in around the server. Anyways, we're going to stop this one here. Cut it. And then catch you for the next one. All right, thanks everybody for joining us. See you later. This has been Irmo.